What if a single question could interrupt your procrastination pattern in its tracks? Wouldn't you like to know what that question is? Hang out for just a few minutes and I'll share it with you. First, please indulge me on this topic of questions. You may find this information to be valuable. For those of you that don't know me yet, my name's Chris Swift. I run White Rabbit Hypnosis, whiterabbithypnosis.com. Please stop by and visit. And this video, the fifth video in the Jailbreaking Yourself video series, is about the topic of questions. I invite you to check out the others if you haven't seen them yet. So when it comes to questions, there are good questions and bad questions. Good questions get us good answers, and bad questions get us bad answers. Good questions lead us to good outcomes. Bad questions lead us to undesirable outcomes. But the important thing to know about questions is that your unconscious will continue to look for the answers to those questions, regardless of whether they're good questions or bad questions, regardless of whether they serve you or not. So you might as well just ask good questions so you can get better and more useful answers. So what are some examples of bad questions, the kinds of questions to avoid? Well, those are the ones that look something like this. Why am I always messing that up? Why am I such a disparaging term? This kind of thing that presupposes a bad thing to be true in order to answer that question. But what if you asked a different kind of question? What if you asked a question like, how could I learn to do this better in the future? How could I avoid this mistake going forward? How could I do this project in half the time? Or how can I use this to better my business or make me money? Those are the kinds of questions that are more likely to turn up a useful answer. The unconscious will continue looking for the answers to those questions until it finds something, and it's going to presuppose that an answer exists. So, the question that I've found to be one of the most useful questions in the history of questions is this, and it comes from Ramit Sethi of the I Will Teach You to Be Rich world. So Ramit shares a story that he was going on a vacation, and his mother said to him something to the effect of, make sure you clean up the apartment and make the bed before you go. And Ramit thought, well, why? And the answer to the question was, because when you get back, it's going to be so much nicer to come back to a nice clean apartment and clean kitchen, or so on and so forth. And so this leads to a question that Ramit puts forward. Will this be easier to do later? Will I be more interested in doing this later? Will I be interested in cleaning the apartment when I get back from vacation? That question, will I be more interested in doing this later, haunts me on a daily basis, probably several times a day. Anytime there's a task I'd rather put off, and I ask myself the question, will I be more interested in doing this later? Or can I front load and do it now? And more often than not, whether I like it or not, that is enough to push me into that activity. That's enough to get me to take action. And you might find it to be the same. So I wonder, what in your life is the task that you put off? What's the task that you could put that question to and ask yourself, will I really be in a better state to do this later? Or should I just get it done now and do my future self a favor? At any rate, I hope you found this to be useful. This is shorter than most of the videos I've done. I'm working on keeping these things brief, and I hope you find it valuable. If you like this kind of thing, stop by whiterabbithypnosis.com so you can pick up a few more tips and tricks for your adventure. Be seeing you.